Tonight, injured on an outing.
I want families reassured that everyone's safety is top of mind.
The message to parents after students are chased through a park during gym class. Also tonight, standing watch at HSC.
What this allows us to do is to make sure we've got a dedicated police presence at Health Sciences Centre.
How many police are going to be stationed at Winnipeg's largest hospital and what they'll be doing. Plus,
I cannot begin to tell any one of you how much that hurt and took our breath away.
Frustration after a suspect in a fatal drunk driving crash goes on the lam.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. New concerns tonight over homeless encampments after a high school student was allegedly chased by a man in a tent in Dakota Forest. The student was on an outing with his high school gym class when things turned violent. Standing by live with the details is CTV's Catherine Dow. Catherine, what happened?
So, Marilee, according to the Louis Riel School Division, a grade 9 phys ed class from Collège Jean Sauvé was in the Dakota Forest with their teacher this morning when this all unfolded. Superintendent Christian Michalik says a group of students walked by a tent when a person came out and chased them. They caught up with one student, causing some injuries that did not require medical attention. It's unclear at this point what exactly caused the student's injuries. Police were called and went to the forest to follow up with the person in question, Michalik says. Students and staff were also advised to avoid the forest while the school division waits to hear back from police on next steps. Michalik says the incident highlights the ongoing housing crisis in the city that must be resolved.
And so here we are with a situation that expresses itself in this way, and so there's an immediate response, but that we see playing out. But there's just a much larger societal response that we need to see happen.
Now, Michalik says that forest has been used for many years to help students get outside and learn from nature. However, he says students and staff will be told to keep out until it is safe to return.
All right, Catherine, what about police? Have they said anything about this incident?
Well, CTV News has reached out to the Winnipeg Police Service for more details on this, but we have not yet heard back.
All right. Thanks for this, Catherine.
You're welcome.
Police officers could soon be stationed around the clock at Manitoba's largest hospital. Nurses and doctors at Health Sciences Centre have been raising safety concerns for months, and today the province announced 2 uniformed officers will be on guard 24/7 at HSC. Standing by with those details is CTV's Jeff Keel. Jeff, what are patients and others around the hospital saying about this move?
Yeah, we spoke to a number of people outside of the hospital today, and most of them said the same thing, Marilee. It's about time.
If she has to go to the hospital, Faith Houle says Health Sciences Centre is not on the top of her list.
I avoid coming to HSC, honestly, because of just the environment of the emergency room. Like, it gets pretty rough.
Mitchell Zaywin says he's seen the safety issues firsthand.
There's certain people that are causing havoc where police would be required.
Now police are on their way. The NDP government says it's staffing 2 uniformed Winnipeg police officers inside HSC 24/7 at a cost of $1.5 or $1.6 million a year.
And it's become very clear that we need to have a dedicated Winnipeg police presence on site to support improved safety and security.
The health minister says the measure could also free up other officers who normally have to wait hours at the hospital with a patient.
Any given day, at any given moment, you can have multiple Winnipeg police officers there. That's not an effective use of their expertise and their resources.
In a statement, Police Chief Gene Bowers said we hope to finalize with the government of Manitoba how police can contribute to a layered safety plan. However, details are still being worked out. The move comes after multiple sexual assaults in and around the hospital. A survey from Doctors Manitoba showed 44% of physician assaults occurred at HSC, and the Manitoba Nurses Union has grey-listed the facility, advising nurses not to take shifts here over safety concerns.
It's a positive step.
The union says this is a good interim move, but they'd rather see current institutional safety officers who work at HSC now given more powers, like the ability to carry batons and detain people.
The police service is already stretched to the limit as it is without utilizing them in a facility if we could be using ISOs.
Faith Hool and Mitchell Zaywin say adding a police presence here just makes sense.
A nurse isn't going to step in and save someone from being assaulted.
On safety officers, the health minister also says that they are going to continue to work with Justice to make sure the safety officers are working to the highest level of their scope.
Jeff, are there any other safety measures being contemplated at HSC?
Yes, the province also announcing today that they're adding 5 weapons scanners to public entrances at the hospital at a cost of around $765,000. It's part of a larger, they say, security plan that also includes improving security in tunnels and reducing public access points to the facility.
All right, thanks for this, Jeff. A family in mourning says it has been shaken once again. The man accused in a deadly crash that claimed the life of their daughter earlier this year has allegedly breached his bail conditions. CTV's Harrison Shin explains.
I absolutely lost my knees.
It's been a roller coaster of emotion for Michelle Best and her family. Kelly Verway died in a 3-vehicle crash in January. 25-year-old James Hilton, the man accused of causing that collision, was charged with operating a vehicle while impaired. Now, he's been accused of breaching his bail conditions.
This justice system needs change.
According to his release order, Hilton was only allowed to live at a treatment center. However, Beth says she learned he walked away. Tuesday afternoon, Hilton was arrested without incident.
The Justice Minister said this must be nonpartisan and pledged swift and decisive action. This government has done nothing but say this is a federal issue.
PC leader Abi Khan says this isn't a case where the province can point the finger at Ottawa.
The administration of justice is a provincial responsibility. It was a provincial court judge who released this person to an unsecured facility, which led to his escape.
Family members met with the Justice Minister after the press conference.
Their frustration is the same kind of frustration that we've had, that the Premier expressed, along with the First Ministers across the country.
For Best, she says she can't see any changes being made.
Maybe there's a million things going on, but it's not making a difference.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
RCMP say Hilton is being held in custody in Winnipeg. None of the charges against him have been tested in court. The city is making some progress in chipping away at this year's deficit. The second quarter forecast is predicting the city will be $17.7 million in the red by year's end. That's a $1.2 million improvement from the first 3 months of the year, factoring into the deficit millions of dollars in saving targets that have not yet been achieved. Lower than expected revenues in the Property and Development Department, and higher overtime for the fire paramedic service. Now, on the flip side, snow clearing is more than $3 million under budget, and the city is making higher interest than expected on some short-term investments. Oh my goodness, Danny, I don't want to think about snow clearing or looking at it.
No.
And the good news is none of that in this forecast.
Thank goodness. And hopefully a lot more of what we saw today. Sunny skies, temperatures well above seasonal averages, and very light winds as well. We're going to see much of the same over the next couple of days as well, but there is a chance of some showers later this week. Coming up, I'll let you know what we can expect heading towards the weekend and through into next week. Taking a look at outside right now, though, 25 degrees still here in Winnipeg under partly cloudy skies. Light winds out of the west at 4 kilometers per hour. The pressure's dropping and the humidity sitting at 50%.
The Bathfitter Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years.
A 35-year-old man is charged in the death of a woman near the Paw. RCMP were called to Clearwater Lake on August 30th, where they found a severely injured woman outside. A man from the Paw was arrested at the scene. The woman was taken to hospital but died of her injuries on September 4th. Aggravated assault charges against Walter Leach have since been upgraded to manslaughter. He remains in custody as police investigate. People in Winnipeg's Crestview neighborhood are speaking out tonight. They're worried and upset about what they're finding in Ridley Park. And as CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows you, the park was filled with bedroom items, garbage, and not too long ago, dozens of needles.
This is an encampment, basically, and I'm thinking it's two people because there's a bed there and a bed there.
For 35 years, Terry Schofield has lived near Ridley Park, but over the last few years, he feels the place he enjoys spending time in has become increasingly unsafe. His concern? People moving into the park, leaving garbage and needles behind.
It's been in the last 2 to 3 years that it's really noticeable.
These images were taken by Schofield on August 7th and September 8th. As you can see, he found needles, garbage, and says he sometimes sees people sleeping in the park at night. It's become a safety concern for Schofield and his neighbors.
Safety. Safety for the neighborhood, safety for everybody. Everybody in the neighborhood this way walks through it at some point during the day.
Including Schofield's neighbor Peter Laycock, who enjoys walking his dog Sammy in the park every day.
That's a good point.
Laycock's suggestion? Have the city of Winnipeg trim back the bushes where he's noticed people hiding.
They're encouraging people to stay there all the time. They can just walk, and if you look in the middle of the bush, it's like a house in there.
Sean Dobson, city councillor for the St. James ward, says this isn't the first time residents have brought concerns to him about safety in Ridley Park.
I'm kind of upset that this is going on and the amount of needles. So my thoughts are that I'm going to have to get Public Works down here to do a thorough inspection a little more often.
By Tuesday afternoon, the garbage was cleared by city crews. Dobson hopes a new motion approved by a city committee Monday will make a difference going forward. It prohibits encampments near schools and playgrounds.
We would not allow an encampment within 50 meters of a playground such as this. Therefore, there would be no bedding in the corner.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
The city of Winnipeg has a proactive cleanup program, although Ridley Park was not part of it. A spokesperson for the city tells us city crews have picked up a total of 3,800 needles between April and June of this year. The lawyer for former fashion mogul Peter Nygard says the charges against him in Winnipeg should be dismissed. In court, defense lawyer Jerry Wiebe argued police failed to keep records from the complainant's first interaction with officers nearly 30 years ago. Nygard was charged in 2023 with sexual assault and unlawful confinement after allegations tied to a 1993 incident at a Winnipeg warehouse. Wiebe told the judge the missing documents undermine her client's right to a fair trial. The court has not yet ruled on the request to dismiss the case. A first-of-its-kind campaign is hoping to crack down on labor trafficking within the trucking industry.
It's a very horrific thing that somebody does to another individual, and that's really, it's modern-day slavery.
That's Janet Campbell, president and CEO of the Joyce Smith Foundation, who estimates there may be several hundred people in Manitoba at any given time affected by labor trafficking. Oftentimes, she says, newcomers are promised good jobs in Canada only to have their documents seized and wages withheld once they arrive. The new campaign aims to inform those people of their rights and show everyone else how to spot labor trafficking.
From a physical standpoint, you may see that maybe they don't have some of the safety equipment that would be standard within the trucking industry. And there may be issues with the readiness of their vehicle as well.
Other common signs to watch for include having no freedom to leave the job, working extreme hours or in unsafe conditions, or living in poor conditions often controlled by the employer. The new campaign is in partnership with Crime Stoppers. You can make anonymous tips, and there are cash rewards for tips leading to arrests. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinu's popularity is waning, according to a new poll from the Angus Reid Institute. The data released today shows Kinu is still the most popular among Canada's premiers, with a 61% approval rating, but it's a 7-point fall from the last poll taken in June. The Institute says delaying the Spruce Woods by-election while announcing more than $300 million worth of spending may have led to the drop. Additionally, the pollster says some Manitobans feel Kinu is abandoning the climate crisis in favor of developing infrastructure. Angus Reid surveyed 334 people between August 28th and September 5th. The poll has a margin of error of plus or minus 5%. Winnipeg Transit has broken ground on its new bus garage in northwest Winnipeg, and today it unveiled the final design. The $200 million garage will be located at Selkirk Avenue and Oak Point Highway. The new garage is replacing Transit's oldest garage on Main Street, which can't accommodate modern buses. This massive 259,000 square foot facility will allow Transit to buy and maintain more 60-foot articulated buses. It will also have electrical chargers for 24 battery electric buses. The garage will feature bays for maintenance, repairs, and cleaning, administration space, as well as a bus loop for future routes. Construction is scheduled to be complete in 2027. Just ahead, new data shows housing starts in Canada have reached a near 3-decade low.
There's this slowdown in activity.
We'll explain why it's happening and what it could mean for housing affordability. Stay with us. Taking a look at the markets tonight, crude oil added 37 cents. The Canadian dollar dropped about 1/10 cent. Gold gained $4. The TSX up 35 points. The Dow Jones climbed 196 points, while the Nasdaq closed 80 points higher. House prices continued to set records across Winnipeg metro region in August. According to the Winnipeg Regional Real Estate Board, the average price for a residential detached home rose 8% year over year to nearly $450,600. Condo prices climbed an average of 4% to a little more than $280,000. Prime Minister Mark Carney is teasing an announcement on housing is coming in the next few days. This after new numbers show housing starts are at their lowest level in 30 years in one region where the need is the greatest. CTV's Mike Couture walks us through the numbers.
Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation says slowdowns in Vancouver and Toronto weighed on the overall number of housing starts, and there is a concern it could affect housing supply in the future. Home building in Toronto fell to its lowest level on a per capita basis since 1996. According to a report from Canada's National Housing Agency, Vancouver also saw a drop in housing starts compared to the first half of last year.
There's this slowdown in activity that will potentially recreate kind of those issues in terms of pressures on prices, pressures on rents.
The CMHC says pre-construction sales are slumping by double digits in Toronto, which is forcing developers to delay project launches in a city that is in desperate need of new homes.
The cost of construction has gone up drastically, and the number of people that are out there looking to buy has gone down again drastically as well.
A near record pace of apartment construction in Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, Ottawa, and Halifax helped offset the sluggish numbers in Vancouver and Toronto. Developers believe cities could see even more growth without municipal development charges, which help pay for roads and sewers.
We need to be able to reduce that for, even if it means just completely eliminating it for a good period of time so that our industry can pick up.
Red tape is another complaint, which Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre would reduce with a suite of measures.
Get rid of the sales tax, cut the development charges in half, speed up the permits, zero tax on reinvested gains.
In a statement, a spokesperson for Housing Minister Gregor Robertson said the government is going to build homes at a pace and scale not seen in generations, pointing to a yet-to-be-announced program called Build Canada Homes. However, there are still no details on the measures the Liberals intend to implement. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Massive explosions rocked Qatar. Israel calls it an assault against the senior leadership of Hamas, who it says uses Doha as its headquarters. It's an unprecedented attack, but not the first time Israel has gone after the masterminds behind the October 7th massacre. CTV's Adrian Gobriel now with the shocking international airstrikes.
Smoke paints the sky black on a dark day in Doha.
It certainly is an escalation of this war.
The deadly daylight air assault is believed to be Israel's first ever inside Qatar. This Hamas residence, now left with a gaping crater in the capital, is said to have been the target, just as the latest ceasefire proposal was being considered. Hamas says that 5 of its members were assassinated in the attack, including the son of exiled chief Halil al-Hayya. Though al-Hayya, seen here, who is believed to be the prime target, has survived, according to Hamas.
These are the same terrorists who planned, terrorist chiefs who planned, launched, and celebrated the horrific massacres of October 7th.
As Israel's prime minister took responsibility, the attack is sending shockwaves across the international community.
I condemn this flagrant violation of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Qatar.
Britain's prime minister saying the priority must be an immediate ceasefire, the release of hostages, and a huge surge in aid into Gaza. In Israel, the families of hostages believe today's airstrikes may have sealed the fate of their loved ones.
Crushes the hopes of all of the families. It's just, it's devastating.
There were several days ago warnings from the Israeli Defense Forces Chief of Staff that Israel was going to start targeting Hamas's leaders no matter where in the world they might be.
Israel's air assault in Doha comes after Hamas's armed wing claimed responsibility for shooting and killing 6 people on Monday at this bus stop in the outskirts of Jerusalem. The latest escalation comes as Israel issued an evacuation order today for residents in Gaza City, with the IDF sharing its intentions for a full-scale operation. The military maneuver reportedly involved 15 Israeli fighter jets firing 10 separate airstrikes on one single target. Adrian Gover, CTV News, Toronto.
Meanwhile, the Israeli military struck more areas of Gaza overnight and issued a warning for people in Gaza City to evacuate ahead of a new offensive. Israel's defense minister says Israel destroyed 30 high-rise buildings in Gaza overnight, accusing Hamas of using the buildings. Gaza's health ministry says at least 65 bodies have been recovered in the past 24 hours. More than 20 civilians have been killed in a Russian airstrike on a village in eastern Ukraine. The village is several kilometers from the front line of the war in eastern Donetsk. The victims were reportedly lined up to collect their pensions when they were hit. And more than 100,000 people have been displaced in central Pakistan because of flooding. The government has deployed hundreds of boats and thousands of personnel to rescue people from the hardest hit areas. The Prime Minister of Nepal has resigned, and today people celebrated in the streets of Kathmandu. The Prime Minister resigned after violent protests triggered by a social media ban. 19 people were killed. One Canadian describes what she saw.
We started the day by just walking the streets, and normally Kathmandu is a bustling, busy city, and it was a ghost town. And then as we got closer to the Parliament, we became a part of the protest. And yeah, we got tear gassed for a couple of hours, and they were like firing at us as well, just kind of doing anything to keep us back.
With the Prime Minister gone, the President of Nepal is calling on protesters to come forward to talk and try and find a peaceful resolution. The President is acting as a ceremonial head of state. Silent for more than 800 years, an organ researchers say is the oldest in the Christian world sounded again in Jerusalem today. Researchers believe the Crusaders brought the organ from France to Bethlehem in the 11th century. After a century of use, they buried it to protect it from invading Muslim armies. There it stayed until 1906, when it was discovered by construction workers.
This is an amazing set of information that allows us to reconstruct the manufacturing process so that we can build pipes exactly as they were made 1,000 years ago.
Researchers hope to start creating copies of the original for churches across Europe.
Well, I was completely surprised and taken back by it.
Coming up, the vehicle was older than he thought. Some precautions you can take when looking to buy a used car.
And while the warm temperatures will stick around, we're likely to see some showers later this week. I'll have your complete evening Skywatch forecast coming up after the break.
Have a news tip?
When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
A rolled back odometer can still be a risk when buying a used car, and while there are some common ways to help spot odometer fraud, it's no guarantee. CTV's Pat Foran explains.
What did you first think when they said the odometer might be rolled back?
Well, I was completely surprised and taken back by it.
Gabriel Graziano of Woodbridge purchased a 2019 Ford F-150 2 years ago. At the time, he checked the Carfax report, and it showed no issues with the mileage. But he just went to trade in the truck to buy another vehicle, and now the Carfax report states potential odometer rollback.
Obviously, it's going to affect my resale value and my trade-in value, which it did.
The truck currently has 153,000 kilometers on the odometer, but now it appears the actual mileage is closer to 200,000. Graziano believes the odometer was rolled back by about 44,000 kilometers. He went back to the dealership where he bought the truck, seeking compensation for the added mileage.
I was not given the proper information when I purchased the vehicle. I want them to take the truck back.
Carfax Canada told CTV News the odometer records in question were not available to Carfax Canada when the individual purchased the vehicle, and therefore not displayed on the vehicle history report. However, after further investigation, we believe there is a strong possibility this vehicle's odometer has been rolled back. We did a story with Dennis Estevez, who purchased a truck with 184,000 kilometers, but the odometer had been rolled back from 320,000.
Clearly, it was rolled back. And it needed a lot of work.
Criminals can use tools to change odometer readings. The Ontario Motor Vehicle Industry Council, OMVIC, recommends you get a Carfax report, a used vehicle information package, and take a vehicle to a mechanic for an inspection. After CTV News reached out to the dealer where Graziano bought his truck, it agreed to compensate him for the rolled back odometer, which was great news for him.
Very pleased that CTV came through and the dealership came through, and looking forward to getting the new truck.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
All right, Daniel Hammerson back now with the complete Skywatch forecast. Boy, what a nice day out there today. Oh. I like this easing into fall much more than what we've been seeing.
Yeah, it's such a nice return to reasonable weather after what we saw last week. I was out for a walk at lunch, and yeah, incredible. And it's going to last through Wednesday at least, folks. So let the good times roll tonight. Mainly clear across much of Manitoba. Down here in the south, we could see some fog patches develop, much like we saw this morning, but it's going to give way to plenty of sunshine over the course of Wednesday, even into the evening. Now, some clouds developing in the north. I'm going to move to this side because we're watching this develop over southern Saskatchewan, and as we move into Thursday afternoon, it's going to hit West Manitoba and move even further towards the capital region as well. So something to keep an eye of, chances some showers developing, but the temperatures are actually going to stay nice and warm above seasonal for at least the rest of this week. Tonight, though, here in Winnipeg, 10 degrees, mainly clear skies, those fog patches developing overnight, but the wind staying quite light. When we wake up tomorrow morning, 12 degrees, that fog slowly going to clear. The wind, again, not a factor as we move into the afternoon. 26, mainly sunny, south winds at 10 kilometers per hour. Incredible weather, honestly. But with all that heat and sunshine, the UV index 6 or high for tomorrow, so something to keep in mind. Let's take a look around the province tonight. Up north, 3 degrees in Churchill under mainly clear skies. A little cloudier as you move a little south in the region, but tomorrow tons of sunshine. Temperatures ranging from 17 up to 22 in Thompson. In the northwest, we're looking at 10 degrees in Flin Flon and the Paw tonight. 8 in Lynn Lake, but again, mainly sunny tomorrow. Lynn Lake could see a few little scattered showers here and there. to our west out in Brandon and the surrounding area, dipping down to 6 tonight. But again, look at those temperatures tomorrow, 26 degrees, 27 up in Dauphin with plenty of sunshine. And in the capital region, temperatures between 7 and 10 tonight under mainly clear skies and plenty of sunshine tomorrow as well. And of course, can't forget Northwest Ontario, dipping down to 11 tonight in Fort Frances, 9 in Dryden, but partly cloudy skies tomorrow. But again, those temperatures in the mid-20s. And our first Skywatch pick of the day comes from Amanda. This one taken out in Austin. Beautiful hazy morning there. And if you look closely, you can see our friend Drummer the Labrador taking in the misty morning out there in Charleswood. Keep those pictures coming. Send them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Thanks, Danny. Well, historically, men have consumed more alcohol than women, but an alarming statistic suggests young women are now outpacing their male peers when it comes to binge drinking. CTV's Hafsa Arif looked into the troubling trend.
In hospitals across the country, doctors are noticing a troubling trend. Young women arriving with life-threatening liver damage.
Myself and all my colleagues started noticing that there was more young women coming in with very severe liver injuries related to alcohol.
After analyzing 20 years of hospital data, the number began climbing sharply around 2012, particularly for women between the ages of 18 to 40.
Women genetically are just smaller than men, so if they consume the same amount of alcohol, the concentration of alcohol in the blood is going to be higher. There's also lower levels of the enzyme which metabolize alcohol in women compared to men.
And causes more damage. Researchers also point to several reasons like accessibility, marketing campaigns aimed at women, and shifting social habits.
Then there's also the effects of estrogen. So there's probably some interplay between estrogen. So for those reasons, if you have a man and a woman who drink the same amount of alcohol, women are typically going to be at higher risk of developing liver-related disease.
And the trend is obvious to the founder of Sober City Halifax, Leanne Milne, who herself has been sober for over a decade.
For the binge drinking part, it was mostly women that I saw do that. Having alcohol and drinking and socializing and empowerment and friendship, all of that is what's going into some of these marketing campaigns, especially driven towards women.
While the shift can be devastating, there is a rise of non-alcoholic options, and younger generations' focus on mental health could help turn things around.
I think that the pandemic did have a lot of good things to do with that, where people saw the relationship with drinking and realized it probably wasn't a healthy one, decided to cut back, and it sort of stuck.
There are a few things more relaxing than climbing into bed after a warm shower, but you may want to make sure your hair is dry first. We're going to explain next in Medical Watch.
Top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
Every day, 9 new Manitobans are diagnosed with dementia, a statistic only expected to rise in the years ahead. But how much do you really know about the disease? September is World Alzheimer's Month, and advocates are hoping you will use this time to learn more about it and the community of support around it. Joining me now to help do that is Erin Crawford, CEO of Alzheimer's Society of Manitoba. Erin, good to speak with you.
Thanks so much for having me.
This year's theme is Your Path Forward. What's the meaning behind it?
I think a lot of times when people get a dementia diagnosis, it's really unclear what comes next. You've got this very scary diagnosis, and what are you supposed to do? What choices are you supposed to make? What are you supposed to expect? So your path forward is really the Alzheimer's Society saying, we can be that path forward for you. We can help you understand what it is. So really what we're hoping is that people will give us a call and we'll show them that path forward.
What are some of the big supports offered locally for those impacted by this disease?
Yeah, I think it can be anything from just getting a bit of information about what you should be expecting, what kinds of things to anticipate, what is dementia, what's going to be coming your way, to recreation programs that you can participate in, to support groups that you can join. So it can be something where you're really quite involved in connecting into a community of other people. And I'd really encourage people to do this, because there's a community of thousands of Manitobans who are experiencing something very similar, and you can really plug into that group of people and get the benefit of their expertise, or you can just get some resources and information if that's what you need.
This month, all about gaining a better understanding of dementia. And while we know age is a risk factor, what else should we know about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So age is the biggest risk factor. And of course, there's not much you can do about that one. But some of the things that we're used to hearing about for heart disease or cancer also apply to our brain. So all of your sort of healthy lifestyle factors like eating well and exercising and not drinking and not smoking. But there are some other things too that have been associated with a reduced risk of dementia, and that's staying socially active and connecting with friends, doing brain challenging exercises, getting your hearing checked. Some of these things that are maybe a little different than some other diseases, and it can be really hard to prioritize those, especially if you're a caregiver for somebody. But it's really important that you do that to reduce your own risk of dementia.
Now, I know you have a number of activities and events planned this month. Want to share some of them with us?
Oh, absolutely. We are very excited. We have a research forum looking at what new research is on the horizon happening on September 18th. We have our Care for You Family Conference, not technically in September, but you can register in September, happening October 18th in Winnipeg. And we really have a day full of experts who are going to talk all things dementia. So if it's something of concern to you, I recommend you go. And then our regular family education sessions on all kinds of really important topics for people, and our support groups and recreation programs, all running in September.
All right, Erin, thanks so much for the information and your time tonight. It was great speaking with you.
Thank you so much.
Nearly half of people with diabetes around the world don't know they have it. That's according to a new study which found 44% of people aged 15 and older with diabetes are undiagnosed. The research, which looked at data from more than 200 countries and territories, revealed key differences. For example, younger people are much less likely to be diagnosed, and higher income countries are doing a better job of identifying the disease. Experts say early diagnosis is key because undiagnosed diabetes can lead to long-term problems. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved large-scale human trials of pig kidney transplants. The biotech company eGenesis says its gene-edited pigs are bred so their organs are more compatible with humans. The company uses technology which lets scientists remove a gene that would normally trigger immediate rejection. The approval comes after several experimental transplants in the U.S. where patients with no other option received pig kidneys and even pig hearts. Right now, more than 100,000 Americans are waiting for an organ donation, and most of them are kidneys. Do you ever go to bed with your hair wet? Well, if you do, you may want to reconsider because dermatologists say it could damage your hair and scalp in the long run.
When the hair is wet, it can be more fragile and it's more prone to like snapping, stretching, or breaking.
Experts say the friction against your pillowcase can cause hair to break, but even more concerning is sleeping with wet hair. It can lead to fungal infections of the scalp, which can cause dandruff and other skin issues. Doctors say it's best to let your hair air dry before getting into bed, and if you need to dry it faster, using a hair dryer on low heat or cool is best. You want to avoid any extreme heat as it can lead to even further damage.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic.
So sorry. This is not who I am.
The Winnipeg Jewish Theatre is opening its season with a gritty psychological thriller. Plus, Mark Hamill gives us a behind-the-scenes look at a made-in-Manitoba Stephen King film. Spotlight is next.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting Led Zepp again, the premier tribute.
The Winnipeg Jewish Theatre is opening its season with a bang.
Whatever is happening in your life, we can talk about it. I promise. I will listen.
Job to Play follows the story of Jane and her sessions with a therapist who suspects her job may be more harmful than helpful. It's a razor-sharp psychological thriller about ambition, burnout, and the digital forces shaping our lives.
Or sleep. It's really a discussion about technology and the line between real and online life. It's an awesome thriller. It'll keep you on the edge of your seat. It tries to really make you chase it. And at the end, there's a puzzle that you almost have to unravel on your own.
I'm good.
Job to Play opens on Thursday at the Winnipeg Jewish Theatre on Doncaster Street. It runs September 11th to the 21st. Get your tickets at wjt.ca. And a stand-up comic taking the world by storm is coming to Winnipeg.
No man's ever woken up with a free Saturday and thought to himself, sweet, flea market.
Brad Williams is bringing his high-energy show to Club Region. Williams' latest stand-up special has gone viral on YouTube with more than 7 million views. He's one of the sharpest, most original comedic voices working today with fearless observations on disability, relationships, and race. He's made TV appearances on The Tonight Show and Jimmy Kimmel Live. Brad Williams' The Tall Tales Tour is slated for the Club Region Event Center on March 28, 2026. Tickets go on sale through Ticketmaster Thursday. And an aspiring film about a gay rights activist is about to make its Manitoba premiere. It's the story of Delwyn Vreed, who was fired from his job as an Alberta teacher.
The King's College was very clear that the reason they were firing me was because I was gay.
Pride versus Prejudice, the Delwyn Vreed story, documents one man's fight against discrimination, resulting in a Supreme Court of Canada decision in 1998 recognizing sexual orientation as a protected human right. It's showing in Winnipeg as part of Real Pride's 40th International Film Festival. The premiere takes place at the Canadian Museum for Human Rights on September 21st, followed by a panel discussion with the director. Doors open at 1:30 and tickets are available through the museum's website. And legendary actor Mark Hamill is reflecting on his time spent filming a Stephen King movie right here in Manitoba. The Long Walk follows a group of young men who volunteer for a deadly endurance contest, hoping for fame and fortune.
From day one, they did it in complete continuity, so you could see the progression of them starting out bright and fresh and clean to haggard and filthy and degraded.
The movie was filmed in various locations in our province, including Birds Hill Provincial Park, St. Lazare, and Garson. It's based on King's dystopian novel from 1979, in which the contestants must keep walking at 3 miles per hour under threat of death. Only one person can win. Hamill plays the major lording over this contest, and he says he drew inspiration from his own childhood on a naval base.
I would see these guys going through their calisthenics or whatever under the barking orders of these insane sergeants. The same glasses and just inhuman.
I'm looking forward to this one. The Long Walk is set for theatrical release this Friday. And your primetime lineup features High Potential at 8, then see plenty of fierce cross-country competition on The Amazing Race Canada.
Flying into the new year in style. Still ahead, a small way you can support Manitoba's air ambulance service.
Women's clothing provided by RW and Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
25 degrees out in Winnipeg right now under partly cloudy skies. Light winds out of the west at 4 kilometers per hour, and much of the same coming over the coming hours. We did hit 26 this afternoon, which is well above seasonal averages of 19, still below those records set back in 1906. So something to strive for, Manitoba. But taking a look at our 7-day forecast, some mainly sunny days, a chance of showers Thursday, but mix of sun and cloud as we head into the weekend.
Thanks, Danny. Well, you can get calendars with pictures of musicians, movies, and sports heroes. And now, you'll be able to get one with a well-known red helicopter, the Stars Air Ambulance.
I think you'll agree the photography is outstanding, and it really helps tell our story of innovation, resilience, and community.
Stars is releasing a 2026 calendar, and inside you will find pictures of 3 Stars Air Ambulance helicopters. There's 5 months with Stars crew members, and you'll also find 3 months featuring 3 VIPs, or very important patients who experience Stars life-saving efforts.
Without Stars flying in to get him in challenging circumstances and the fight to keep him alive, to get back, we wouldn't be here. Like our life as we knew it would have been completely decimated. So to be able to be here and help fundraise and help bring awareness is just something we can do to give back to what we needed.
The 2026 Stars calendar is now available to purchase, with all of the proceeds going to Stars. For details, go to starscalendar.ca. Now, if you're anything like Danny and me, we instantly focused on
the
adorable dog. His name is Orion. He's a wellness service dog at Stars, and he has an Instagram account, so you can follow him while you get your calendar and support the efforts. All right, have a good night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.